Welcome everyone. We have the pleasure of being here for our round table discussion at the square table for Sunday's Black History Month 2022. We are at the lovely museum, the African American Library and Museum in Oakland, California. And it's a pleasure to be here with all of you fabulous people today.
Wonderful.
Good morning, everyone.
And I want everyone to just go around the table and actually introduce yourself to everyone and your position. What you do at Sundae?
I'm Michelle Taylor. I'm the city general manager in Sacramento.
I'm Serena Johnson, and I am a SAFE advisor in Atlanta.
I am Lola Folletti. I am the people operations manager for the customer solutions team.
I'm Matt Washington, and I am the talent brand associate on the people team.
I'm Nicole Garner. I'm a customer advisor for the Central Region.
And I'm Cameron Grigsby. I'm a customer advisor team lead in San Francisco.
Awesome. Great to meet everyone. We have people from all across the country here, New York,
Absolutely.
Local, Georgia, everywhere, Denver, Colorado. So thank you. And we thank Sundae for allowing us this opportunity. And so what we're going to share today is about our experiences and what it's like to be at Sundae and from that perspective, and really also what everyone is share. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So I think the first thing that we talked about is just the influence that others have had on our life, right, Lola?
Yes.
And definitely like our family members, friends and family. And so I just want to talk about, I know you have someone in your family that there's some history. And so we're just going to say what family members or people in your life have influenced you and you reflect on this month.
Absolutely. I mean, whenever I get the chance, I like to talk about my grandpa, Charlie. He was a judge. He was in the Army, working as a bomber in the 1940s. So he's had a huge influence on my life and Black history in general and just really paved the way for me. So that's a man I love, respect, and truly admire.
How did what he went through influence you like today and like what you're going through in your life?
Absolutely. Honestly, I think we have the conversation a lot about not playing the victim, because in a lot of cases, like, obviously we're going through things as Black people, right? We're gonna have a different experience. We might have a harder experience than others. And just the fact that he was able to do that with the resistance that he was facing, right? He was truly growing up in a difficult time. And even when he was elected a judge, when they had this like sort of celebration party, it was a whites only party. So he wasn't allowed in the room.
Wow.
So it reminds me of somebody like, Jesse Owens, who comes back from the Olympics and comes back to white only spaces. He certainly experienced that. And that's why he's an inspiration for me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you sharing that. Anybody have their own experience, something else they want to share?
I would say my mom. I think we can all find Black history and inspiration from the people in our family. She's definitely shown me that no matter what, you keep going as a single mother. I went to school, I went to college. She sent me to private school. She sacrificed so that I could actually have things, and now I've passed those on to my children. So, it doesn't take a lot, but sometimes when you see the things that people go through day to day, they show you that, hey, you can overcome. Don't be the victim. You can, inspire yourself and then inspire the ones coming behind you.
To touch on that, the people that influence me the most is literally my entire family. Because when you exist in Black America and when you get up every day to go into this oppressive system and you still find ways to survive and thrive, that's an inspiration of itself. So my grandmother has cleaned the same house for the past 35 years. She owned a business, a consignment shop actually, but it actually got tore down to build some apartments. And so it's like the entrepreneurial spirit. And when I see her and talk to her, I'm like, dang, this is where I get it from. So it's like just your entire family, their lived experiences. It contributes to who you are as a person.
Yeah, no, that's so relatable. My parents immigrated to the United States in the 1990s. And my mom, she's probably one of the most skilled businesswomen I know. She probably has ventures that I don't even know about. She's done,
She's high in the program.
she's done grocery stores, importing and exporting. So many. She even has a restaurant now. And then my father, he's been in the housing industry industry for almost 30 years, if not more, as a mortgage banker. So it's a full circle moment, me working in the housing industry as well.
Seriously.
So just with the two of them combined, I feel like I can do anything and be supported.
Absolutely.
One way that sort of Black history and someone in my family influenced me was my great uncle Henry Grant. I found out that he taught Duke Ellington how to play the piano when he was young, and he started the National Association of Negro Musicians back in the 1900s. And so I'm a musician, I'm a producer, so that history has actually influenced me as far as like my skills and things that I do musically.
Yeah.
And so I'm very proud that I've had someone in my family that has carved away, and obviously there's other folks in my family who may not be of note, but like everyone said here, Black history is all of our families. And
Every day.
People that influence us, and every day.
Just want to talk about my dad and him being a real estate agent, just the success that he's had paving the way for me, and what's I find to not be a space for Black people in general. You know what I mean? Like, we really got to force our way in the real estate industry and like have our belief that we can do that. So anyway.
Yeah, and so what are some of the experiences that you all have faced just being Black in the real estate industry, being Black in corporate America? What is that like?
Heavy.
Absolutely.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
I think for me, I'm at the intersection of a lot of experiences. So Black, woman, and queer.
Yes.
So especially when you go into these real estate spaces where you're dealing majority with white women, you're already kind of battling their stereotypes of who you are as a person. So you have to kind of change your demeanor a little bit. And so I found myself always having to shift out of character. What's the phrase that we always use? Code switching.
Code switching.
So that's something that I got an A+ in code.
Yeah, I think we all do. We've learned it from a young age, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely ingrained in you. So I think I was telling y'all the story about my partner, but just having the ability to not code switch again. Like, I feel like Sundae has given me the opportunity to really be myself, because I found myself like in our beginning of day meetings and end of day syncs kind of like switching a little bit. And I'm like, these other people are being themselves. So I'm gonna show up and kick back and like, hey y'all, what y'all doing today? You know what I'm saying? And versus, what's going on today, guys?
I think for me, yeah, one of the challenges is like, you have, if you're a very skilled individual and you come with the skill set and you're very positive about yourself and you walk in the room, for me, it's always been an intimidation factor. Like, I come in the room and I speak and I have my chest out because I'm proud, of like my accomplishments and the way my parents raised me.
Yeah.
But some people are like, they're intimidated.
A chip on your shoulder.
They think it's a chip on your shoulder. Or I had a boss tell me once, they were like, you're intimidating. And I was like, what do you mean by that? She's like, not in a bad way. You're just very confident and makes it. I said, well, I don't know how to take it. Like, should I tone that down? Like, because intimidating is not a good word at the end of the day.
It also is not your fault how others perceive you.
Exactly.
And you shouldn't have to
Exactly.
shrink yourself so that other people can perceive
But also
you
to touch
differently.
on that, that's rooted in racism. That's anti-Blackness,
Yes.
because racism is literally just a construct, and racism gives you power. So you take that power away from someone, it makes them feel small.
Yes.
And you don't have the ability to tell me that I'm making you feel this way. No, that's something in you.
Exactly.
I
Am
don't
I
have that
intimidating
ability.
or are you intimidated?
Intimidated.
Or,
Very open.
Very different.
And one thing I preach about Sunday, obviously, is the willingness. Like, no one's perfect, but there's a lot of organizations that aren't even willing to let us do what we're doing and talk about it,
Yeah.
and really just put it on the table. So the willingness is the first step, and we'll talk more about like things that you can put into action. But what can Sunday do? And I want to hear from you over there. What do you feel like Sunday can do to improve the Black experience as an organization?
I mean, I see that Sunday is doing the right things in terms of just creating the space for this dialogue. I think this is the first of its kind that I've ever experienced in my workplace. So, I think it's powerful when entities are willing to step up and say, there's no prototype for this. We are building what it means to create a diverse workplace. So I think Sunday's doing a fabulous job just by willing to lean into the awkward. 'Cause it's awkward. Let's be real, it's awkward. And I always think of the, the idea of the six blind men and the elephant. And each one of them has surrounded this elephant, and they're describing what it is that they're standing in front of. And the one in front says, this is a violent beast. It's got spears. And the one next to him is got his hand around the leg, and he says, no, it's like a giant cow with legs like a tree trunk. And the next person is standing against the body and says, no, it's like a wall. And the person in the back says, no, it's like a rope. And each person has a completely different perspective, and they're passionate about what they see and feel and are experiencing. And they're calling it out because it's their truth. And I think that we have to be willing to have these elephant in the room conversations where we all just identify who we are and what our experience is and how we enrich our lives even at work. So I think Sundae just needs to continue to do it and allow those with that voice to, really build the architecture for how we're going to celebrate those things. So.
Wow. Yeah, that was great.
So we were talking about, like, as an organization, like really being intentional about what vendors
Yes.
we use, and then thinking about gentrification and all of those things when we move. But I know we had some other thoughts about how we can be practical as an organization.
From an HR perspective, I think when we consider inclusion, diversity, and equity, making sure that we're positioning Sundae as a place for diverse candidates, for Black candidates to want to apply to. People, if they go on the Sundae website, they might not see any Black leadership, or they may not see Sundae as a place that they can fit in. So doing our due diligence as a company to be like, listen, you can apply here because you belong and you will have a path forward. So just being Black in HR, I feel responsible for making sure everyone feels safe, supported, and that they can be their full selves at work.
Absolutely. And so what are some other ways that, Sunday's already doing a lot. There's a lot more they can do, and they understand that. Any other ideas for what our organization can do?
What I think is just on a one-to-one basis is, like Michelle said, in this forum, but also speak one-to-one. I know I myself with my coworkers, getting the word out. I mean, each person, it's each one teach one. So I think in an environment where it's open, yes, we're Black individuals, we're African Americans, we work in real estate, but we're people too. I think Sundae is doing that by allowing this forum, but also each individual being able to talk to coworkers, being able to speak honestly about our experiences, about, being a Black real estate agent in America, what kind of things that we go through. Because again, if they can't see us as human, if they don't know what we're going through, then it's almost a them kind of problem and not a us kind of problem.
Right.
So gentrification is not a them kind of problem, it's all of us, because Blacks are moving out, but we were in the city. So my thinking is in next 10, 15 years, are they going to move back to the suburbs, and is it going to be a reverse? So we need to be able to prepare ourselves and be able to know what we want to do. And I think Sundae, again, is taking steps to hire, diversify, and have conversations like this.
And I think just coming in and educating the homeowner is going to be much better than just saying, hey, let me buy your house. Like the whole thing when I'm talking to homeowners on the phone, it's like, we just want to help you. It doesn't matter at the end of the day if you sell to us or not. These are your numbers, and hopefully our number works the best over every other company. So I think giving someone that power back is something that Sundae could do, which we already heard.
That's what I'm saying. I was actually like, are we already doing that? So we can continue down that road and maybe even improve, I guess. And there's always room for improvement. Absolutely.
So we've been talking about, ways that Sundae can improve the experience for Black homeowners, but what are some ways that non-Blacks can learn more about the culture, and some tangible ways that they can build meaningful relationships and become better allies?
I want to hear from you, Cam.
I appreciate it. We talked about getting into those uncomfortable spaces. I feel like as Black people, we're regularly in those uncomfortable spaces because we have to be. I think it's up to our white allies and non-Blacks in general to be having these type of conversations with one another. Because while we're at the table, while we're doing these events for Black History Month, I've certainly felt like I've been observed, right? I haven't heard from white people as much as I would like to in regards to what they can do and what steps they can make. So I think the first step is being uncomfortable and realizing that that's our experience every day.
Wow.
I would agree.
Absolutely.
And I think a way of for us to make them feel like they can come to us. I mean, again, I don't think it's our job to teach non-whites or but if there is someone who wants to learn, and you can tell because if you have an open personality like myself, of course, where I'm real, and I do say things like, this is just me, don't think everyone thinks like that, but that allows people to come to me and say, hey, Serena, what do you think about that? Or what's that about? And so I think sometimes when I look around the room, I feel like, non-Blacks are scared. They're scared to say, they're scared to ask because they don't know if it's offensive or what word should they use or can they say this, or so they want to help but don't really know how or if they can or if they should. So I think having a welcoming disposition about yourself, I guess, if you want to. I think it's an individual things, right? Like we said, I don't think it's our job to do that, but I think it is one of the ways that we can help.
I'm not a woman, so I don't know the woman's experience, right? But what I do is I try to show empathy. And so for Women's Month, I don't know the struggle, but I can empathize. So I have a mom, I have sisters. And so I can really think about what you're going through, but I also can go deeper and try to understand what it is you're going through, which I do. And that's how I'm able to then have a disposition towards an individual and be like, okay, like I don't necessarily live it, but I understand it. And then now it's open a little bit more for me to like want to hear more, as opposed to just saying like that's their thing and this is my thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. And also when you become an ally, when allyship is your thing, making sure you're not centering yourself in the experience of others and making it about your tears and your discomfort. Like that's great that you're uncomfortable. Now dig deeper and understand the why rather than making it about you. And we see that happen a lot at work, on social media. The conversations consistently get derailed because they're now centering around somebody else's feelings. So remembering that it's not about you, remembering that it's about a collective experience and you doing your best to make sure that you're amplifying voices and you're giving people the space to be them while minimizing your negative impact.
I would add to what non-Blacks can do. They can go on the internet, type in local Black-led organizations, and people that are the boots on the ground, they're always going to give you the real of what's happening in the community. So definitely start there and read a Toni Morrison book while you're at it.
And maybe even some bell hooks.
Maybe even some bell hooks. There we go.
I think Google is your friend.
I
I think that people do need to understand that the Black experience can be somewhat exhausting in America, and it can be a lot for your Black friend, family member, whoever that you feel that connection with to be like the decipher of how you should interpret Blackness. So I would definitely encourage people to start with Google, and then if you do have a confidant or someone that you could trust, because Google just doesn't open it up for you, that's a place to go.
Thank you so much. Thank everyone for participating. Thank you for being transparent. Thank you for traveling. Thank you for taking the time. I'm sure that there are going to be some folks that are going to listen to this, and it's definitely going to help them and it's going to influence them. And we definitely want to thank Sundae for allowing us. Thank you, Cam. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Lola. Thank you, Serena. And thank you, Michelle, all for joining us. I want to thank everyone who decided to support us and allow us this opportunity, from Beth to Matt to Michael Wisner. Thank you for the folks that allowed us to be in this beautiful facility. And hopefully this will be something that people will get impacted by and it will be influence them in a good way.
Yes, they will.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.